And that means that the user ultimately has to upload what could be proprietary data from that enterprise. So the data exfiltration risk is that there, according to at least the initial versions of these tools, the privacy guidelines and the expectation for privacy was not very clear, and that's why some enterprises kind of like proactively prevented users from starting to use this more widespread. What they have realized, though, is that the productivity associated with them is so great that if they don't allow it, their competitors will, and they may fall behind. So, yeah, I would say initially, data exfiltration is the biggest risk. And then as you start getting into other use cases, like the source code example that I mentioned, you may also start seeing other legal challenges associated with, well, was the data used for training these models open source, or was it copyrighted? And then there's some potential legal liability, and this is yet to be determined in the courts because we're in very early stages about this trend and how this industry evolves. But there could also be legal implications for organizations depending on where that data came from to train those models. So those are probably like the biggest two things to consider in an enterprise when trying to deploy these tools.
So, in my private life, should we like me and my listeners who exercise similar caution when we are using Chat GPT or Midjourney or other such tools in private capacity? Is the risk similar?
Yeah, it is actually. And one of the things to consider there is that, as I just mentioned at the very beginning, when this was starting to be used by enterprises, there have been changes in the usage agreements for enterprise use cases.